Hello again. Caught a little bit of the news. Went over to one of my only Democrat friend that I've been mentioning before. He was watching what Democrats watch, which is MSNBC. That's all they ever watch. And they were talking about the airplane that landed sort of long at LaGuardia in New York. And they had the guest on, Ed Schultz. Now, I think Ed Schultz is a pilot himself, and he had said that based on what he observed, based on the conditions that this pilot landed in, the Delta pilot, he assumes that they're going to find there was a mechanical issue which created the overrun of the airplane and the plane going off the actual runway itself, almost into the ocean. I don't know if you noticed that. Another case, as you may know, some of you may know, I'm also a pilot. And one of the things you don't do is you don't land with the wind behind you, even under dry conditions, if you can possibly avoid it, unless you have a very long runway. And the reason that is when the wind's behind you, whether it's directly behind you or if it's quarterly behind you, you're going to take a lot more runway than you would normally. And what we've been told is the wind was behind this landing airplane on an angle. Now what that would do is it would cause the airplane to weather vane. And that's what happened. The airplane weather vaned right off the runway. And it's amazing how these Democrats think, you know. It had to have been something else. It couldn't have been pilot error. And the reason that I say pilot error is pilots are referred to as being a PIC, P-I-C, which stands for Pilot in Command. So what that really means is that he or she is the absolute final authority. You know that airplane that crashed in Indonesia, where they say in the Java Sea, where the pilot had asked to go to, I think, 40,000 feet, and he was told that he couldn't? Well, he should have told the controllers to go sit on it. As pilot in command, he is the final authority. And all he had to do was tell the controllers, clear the airspace above me because I'm going to 40,000 feet. But he chose not to do that, we assume. The pilot that was given that runway to land on knew where the winds were coming from because he was told. He was told the direction of the winds, the speed of the winds, and he knew the conditions he was landing on. So the mistake that he made, whether or not there was a mechanical, which I don't believe there was, but whether or not there was, it doesn't matter. The pilot should never have landed on that runway. He should have refused the runway based on the conditions, based on the direction of the quarterly tailwind. And he should have gone to an alternate airport. All airplanes require to carry sufficient fuel to go beyond their destination airport to an alternate airport. So that airplane could have landed, in all probability, safely at a different airport or circled until conditions improved, or he was given another airport where he wouldn't be landing with a tailwind. Do you sort of understand all that? It's not that difficult. We have charts that show you what happens when you're landing with tailwind. And you can compute those based on different speeds, and it's dramatic. I mean, it is dramatic. So the pilot should have refused the clearance for that particular runway for the reasons that I've already given. I don't think that pilot will ever fly again for a commercial airline. The fact that no one was killed will be in his favor. But the fact is, as far as I'm concerned, he made the wrong decision. He should have aborted the landing, or even before that, he should have just simply refused the landing and gone to an alternate. Either an alternate runway or an alternate airport. That's sort of what I think. We'll see how this thing plays out. But no matter how it plays out, I think that the captain of that flight, he'll he'll be joining the ranks of the unemployed. And no one will hire him to fly for a commercial airline. He made the wrong decision. We'll see. I told you what I think. Let me know what you think. That happened to have been a Delta flight. I'll leave it at that.